The soccer mom van slowly crept up in a long, winding parking ramp in the dark of the night. The wind howled outside of the ramp, swaying the tree tops viciously from side to side. I wish we would have asked this Derek guide for directions on where to park, Dusk complained. There is no space by the feed here. Well, this parking ramp will have to do, Thorne said, continuing to drive. There's nowhere else to park. Who could have known that Salem would be this far out and put so much on a Wednesday night? Park here, Thorne, Luna exclaimed, causing Thorne to slam on her brakes. Luckily, no one was behind her. Where? Thorne frantically looked around, not seeing the spot where Luna was talking about. In that little spot right over next to the door, it says, to the Larcom Feedier. The door was on the arrow pointing right. Luna elaborated. Do you think we could fit? Thorne sized up on the spot. It looked pretty wedged up against the wall to her, but the van might just barely fit. Well, we've got only an hour before the show, and we'll need time to set up. So, it's worth a try. Even if we don't want to be late, Luna suggested. Okay, Thorne said. She just made a right tight turn and pulled the vehicle in the spot, careful not to dent the vehicle next to them or hit the bricks just a few feet to their left. I think we're good. Can you get out and check if I'm not over the line? Dusk opened up the front passenger side, while Luna opened the left rear door. Looks good to me, Dusk said. Me too, Luna added. Alright, then we're set, Thorne declared, as she unbuckled her seatbelt and then turned the van off. Once she got out of the car, Luna handed Thorne her guitar in its case from the back seat. I still can't believe we're playing now the show in frickin' Salem. Dusk then took her drum set out of the back of the seat and then caught up to the other two girls, who had already began walking. I mean, I can't believe we have a song on the radio, but here we are, Luna laughed. I wonder what a full-on concert is like to be like, Thorne dreamed. You couldn't call this a full-on concert. It's still pretty small scale compared to any concert the famous artists would have. I doubt there'll be more than 100 people here, Dusk guessed. It'll probably be slightly bigger than Autumn Fest. Either way, it's better than playing at... Thorne then paused to shudder the two words, Lester's. The other girls shuddered too. I'd like that kind of concerts we have at Jack and Haley's though, Luna smiled. The concerts feel much more manageable when you're not singing to hundreds of people at one time, at least to me. Thorne shrugged in agreement. I could see where you're coming from. I didn't mind the Autumn Fest though. Hell yeah, Dusk nodded. It's bigger, the better for me. The girls then went through the parking ramp with the arrow heading towards the feeder. The door led into a small, dingy-looking building, with a staircase right in the middle of the cement. Once they descended into the staircase, they realized that it oddly set back to the outside of the side street. What the hell? Dusk snapped. The staircase doesn't lead anywhere. Yes, it does. Luna pointed the way down the street. See? Larcom Feeder. Oh, thank God. I was worried that we were lost. Thorne breathed a sigh of relief. Good eyes, Luna. Thanks, Luna appreciated. The street was dimly lit and quite spooky. Not a soul was there. There wasn't even a single car on the parking street. Nevertheless, the Hex girls continued confidently to walk down to the street. Excuse me, ladies, a voice called in the distance. Yes? Thorne said uncertainly. She was admittedly a bit frightened, as she could see couldn't see whoever was speaking. It's just me, girls. Derek Johnson, the man clarified as he got closer. Oh, hi, Derek, Thorne breathed in a sigh of relief. Thanks again for inviting us to do this concert, Luna added. It's no problem, ladies. There's already a decent crowd in there. If you want to get set up, it's almost time for a show to begin, Derek reminded. When you say decent crowd, how many people do you mean? Dusk inquired. Oh, maybe about 60 people, Derek informed. That's so many, Luna gasped. Follow me, ladies. I'll lead you backstage, Derek guided. Foreign Dusk and Luna then headed up to the theater and followed Derek to the stage area. The theater looked quite refined. All the walls were painted in a fancy red. Each door was covered with a certain curtain, presumably to maximize the theatrical feeling experience. Derek was walking into the second curtain on the left, motioning the girls to follow. All right, girls, there's a backstage area. Feel free to set up. The curtain's been lifted already, but if you want some privacy, I could just press the button right here to shut it, Derek instructed. Oh, by the way, I forgot to have you sign this form. It's just saying you're performing at our theater tonight and you agree to abide all of our rules. Sure, I could sign it, Foreign smiled, as Derek handed her a pen as she scribbled a signature. Thank you. Good luck, girls, Derek well wished. When Foreign and Luna and Dusk entered the stage, they were shocked to see a large group of people sitting on their seats already. Many of them were talking amongst themselves, waiting for the show to begin. Wow, the pressure's on, Luna laughed nervously. We better get set up extra fast, Dusk gasped, as she noticed all the people sitting around the audience. Derek's guess of 60 people appeared to be the close accurate. Foreign started to unpack her guitar as she glanced up at everyone waiting for her to perform. She admittedly felt butterflies in her stomach, which was usual for her. Nevertheless, Foreign continued to set up and tried to go on this at least without overthinking how comparison with the big audience was. The crowd clapped profusely at the conclusion of Hexed. There wasn't any much cheering, though. Nevertheless, all the girls still adored the claps of appreciation. Thank you, Foreign said to the microphone. Drive safe. That was a good concert, girls. Derek joined in on the girls on the stage as everyone began to leave. Unfortunately, they were expecting 100 tickets to be sold, but there were only 70 free. Oh well, it's still a lot of people. No big deal. Foreign shrugged. Well, that's a good way to work on it. Now can you give me the number of your manager? Derek inquired. Why do you need Gus's number? Dusk looked confused. To square away the extra amount of tickets that didn't sell, Derek revealed. Or are you girls going to be paying for that? But what do you mean? Foreign stuttered. She didn't understand what was going on. Well, the expectation was your concert would sell at least 100 tickets for $5 each, and only 70 free of them were sold, which means we take out all the profits. You girls still owe me 135, Derek said. The hell we do, Dusk snapped. Those people paid to see us perform. Mean the money is ours. Foreign's voice got more angry as she spoke. You have no right to take it from us. Derek let out a chuckle, further aggravating Dusk and Foreign. Luna just looked like she was more uncomfortable than mad. You don't get just to perform here for nothing. It costs $500 to rent a stage and this theater, Derek shared. Well, why the hell didn't you tell us that? Dusk shouted. You mean you really don't know? You have to pay money to rent spaces to perform. We just don't give it to you free rides. It was even in the agreement you signed before you went on stage, Derek stated. Well, I suppose if I told you if I had realized you didn't know the rules of performing, which clearly you girls don't, even the basic understanding of. We're not paying you a dime, asshole, Dusk snapped. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to tell you to lower your voice, or I will have to call security. Derek took his professionally of the level as sounding prepompous. Oh, and you'll be paying us for every cent of the 135 you owe. If I don't have that money in 2 weeks from tonight, I'm afraid I'll have to phone the authorities for fraudulently using our theater with no intent to pay for us. You son of a... Dusk screamed. Dusk, let's go. Foreign patted her friend on the back. We just can't let that... Dusk's voice was once cut off again, this time by Luna. Foreign's right. Let's get out of here. Luna tried to comfort her raging friend. We'll be sure to pay you the 135, sir, Foreign said in a monotone voice. Dusk stayed quiet until they left the theater. Both Foreign and Luna could tell that she was seething with anger. Once they had exited out of the theater door that had fully been shut, Dusk exploded. That frickin' piece of shit took an advantage of us. Why the hell would you let him do that? He did, but there was no way we were gonna go anywhere by arguing with him, Dusk. Thorn sighed. You can't win with people like that. We should just walk to the police station right now and turn him in. Then at that point and laugh when his ass gets hauled away in chains, Dusk snapped. We do owe him money though, Luna admitted. The hell we do, Dusk yelled, clearly too angry to even think straight. We can go check with Gus on it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't make up the space rental thing. I feel that I remember showing O'Cave and asking us for money before we performed, and we got declined. But that's just been lucky that the place has just let us play and keep our proceeds, Foreign explained. He didn't lie to us about owing us money. He just took advantage of our inexperience and chose to explain the process to us until it was too late. We should still turn him in for misrepresenting that we had to pay to play at the theater, Luna suggested. We can't prove that, though, Foreign disappointedly informed. He could just lie and say he told us. That stupid ass, screw him, Dusk growled. Now that we can agree on, Foreign laughed. Dusk had calmed down considerably last night, but she was still in a bad mood when Foreigner and Luna arrived at Jack's. They had bumped into Bridget, Nia, and Sam, and they were just there, and Bridget was telling Foreign all about the Wicca-related things. So Wiccans do have from covens, and others prefer to practice on their own. It's really up to the person on how they felt and connects with them in nature, Bridget explained. Whoa, that's cool, Foreign said in awe. We haven't talked much about the rituals yet either, Nia realized. Often when they're meditating or connecting to your personal energy with the earth, even some Wiccans had healing crystals and follow the moon cycles to more elaborated rituals. I was thinking the rituals could be more magical, but this is cool, Foreign smiled. So healing crystals aren't that really magical? Maybe it was kind of like that herbal remedy Foreign makes if any of our vocal cords are sore, Luna wondered. Exactly, Sam said. Some people think that Wicca is always something supernatural, but in reality, the energies of Wicca, it focuses all around us, and it's all just a matter of how much importance you place on them. Most people just don't think of energies as they give off, but focusing on energies is a core to Wicca. Just as Foreign was about to respond, all of them heard a very loud yell from the table a few away. Shit! Dusk shrieked as a bowl was dropped to the floor and shattered. I'm sorry. Dustin rushed to the kitchen and grabbed a broom and quickly ran back out so that no one would step on the broken pieces. As she swept them and dumped them into the trash can, she stopped and looked over the table where the other girls were sitting. I'll really be going to Gus's meeting in a second, Dusk said. That's fine, Luna snickered at Dusk's previous mistake. It's cute that you keep messing up. Ah, shut up, Dusk snapped as she walked back to the kitchen to put away the broom and exchange out of her pink apron. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your Wicca with me, Foreign appreciated. That was really informative. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Bridget chirped. Sorry again with what happened in Salem. That's really shitty, Nia apologized. It's okay. I actually thought of the idea to pay him back that I was just about to tell Luna and Dusk, Foreign revealed. Why is that? Luna asked. Well, Lester's called us again and asked if we could play tomorrow night, and we can always cancel if you don't want to. But I said yes. I was thinking we could pay him with that money from that show, Foreign suggested. I guess, Luna huffed, if we have to. If there was any one place the girls hated performing, it was even more than their least favorite establishment in Salem. It was Lester's. The patrons were always quite boorish and rude, and seemed to enjoy getting wasted more than they did watching the girls' show. Occasionally, people would hit on the girls while they were even performing. Did you say Lester's? Dusk sighed, putting her right arm into the blue coat. I guess the upside of that is that we'll be giving them their shitty money from another shitty establishment. So yeah, we could perform there if it means paying those assholes back. I'm ready to go whenever you are, by the way. The girls all waved goodbye to Nia, Sam, and Bridget, and they headed for Gus's office. Hopefully that would brighten Dusk's day a little. After such a stressful end to their concert the prior day, it was like Thorn was going back to her comfort zone when she walked back through the hallways of Decade Records. She was growing quite to enjoy their meetings, with Gus as there with the other two girls. "Hello, girls. Great to see you again," Gus exclaimed. "How was the concert in Salem?" "Oh boy, we do have a story for you." Dusk's eyes lit up with anger. "Maybe it'd be better if you let me tell the story," Thorn laughed. "You know, less profanity and all." "Oh no, what happened?" Gus looked like a concern of his voice. "Basically, the guy who invited us to play in Salem inconveniently forgot to tell us that there was a charge of $500 to pay for the feeder." Thorn was sure to say the convincity, at the same time, while doing their air quotes from the motion with her hands. He said we owed him $135 at the end of the concert, and he said he would call the police if we didn't give it to him in 2 weeks, and we were signed to this agreement without reading it fully, so we're stuck now. Thorn forgot to mention that part where the guy was a frickin' shithead about it, Dusk added. "Oh dear." Gus appeared to be troubled. "It sounds like he took advantage of you girls because you were a newly single-signed band. Regardless, you girls have your first experience with a larger concert and earn a valuable lesson for next time." "What's that?" Luna inquired. "Always ask for the details before agreeing to the concert, and make the person input in writing. More importantly, never sign anything without reading it all the fine print. If it takes a while, I really should have thought to tell you. I just never expected someone to take advantage of you girls like that." Gus shook his head in disgust. "You girls put in a lot of situation where you had no way of proving that he didn't inform you of the costs like he intended to. So if there's nothing we can do to get back at this bastard," Dusk swore. "No, I'm afraid not. If you reported him to the authorities, he could just claim that you were lying to get out of paying, or saying that you must have forgotten. You have no defense against him. At least nothing that you could prove," Gus explained somberly. "Well, that sucks," Thorn harumphed. "At least we can make the money need to pay the guy next week from our jobs. It'll mean we won't have to pay off the cost of the car repair on the credit card in the next few weeks. Yes, you girls should be thankful that you have a way to pay. It could have been a lot worse. Now let's move on to the happier subject." Gus switched topics. "I wanted to follow up with you on your conversation about covers. Have you girls ever thought about a song cover for the album?" "Not really," Luna admitted. "That's perfectly acceptable," Gus responded. "There is so much multitude of music out there that it's so hard to know what to cover. There are so many songs especially to speak that your image in a band." The girls were silent for a moment as they thought about Gus's statement. How about environmental songs? You could seem to give them off as an environmental vibe. Earth, wind, fire, and air. That is a topic that is interest of you guys? Gus questioned. "Absolutely. I mean, we're eco-goths," Dusk informed. "What's an eco-goths?" Gus looked confused. "Don't ask me. HB made it up," Luna chuckled, causing Gus to look even more confused. HB was a nickname of this kid that grew in high school named Hanna-Barbera. She was a preppy girl who looked like to make fun of us for being goths and for liking the environment. One time she called us the eco-goths as an insult. We liked the term though, so now we use it as an empowering way, Thorne explained. Very interesting, Gus nodded. Those are a lot of songs from the eco-goths band for the focus on the environment. Why don't you think of a couple ideas and talk amongst yourselves after the meeting? Then we can have a talk about it in the next week, if you're ready. Sounds good to me, Thorne shrugged. Great. And if it wasn't obvious, you're always more than welcome to do more than one cover if you choose. How many songs are we at now? Gus inquired. 10, Luna responded. Perfect. If you want to have your last 2 songs to be covers, I say go for it. You girls are doing great, Gus smiled. I have one more thing to share with you, however. Gus motioned for the girls to come closer to look at his computer. As all of them got up from their chairs and gathered around Gus's screen, they saw a listing of 50 songs. Thorne knew most of the songs, but paused for a moment when she saw her song placed into the second to last at the bottom of the list. What is this list? It looks like we're 49th on it, or whatever it is, Dusk pierced together. This is just a pop radio chart from this Sunday. Gus smiled. Your girls have made it to top 50 on the radios in the United States. Holy shit, Dusk gasped. What's the number next to it? Thorn gasped frantically, observing the number 408. That means your song was played 4089 times on the radio last week, Gus said. That's not all, though. I want to show the pop of the chart today. Gus exited out of the Sunday chart window and pulled up the chart from this morning. It showed Hexed had climbed up to number 45 and had been played on the radio 820 times in the past week. What the? Luna inhaled rather than swearing. Looks like you girls have got a hit on your hands, Gus continued, smiling. Now given this, we need to have you as a record or radio liner. What is that, anything like a one-liner? Luna asked, confused by the terminology. No, Gus chuckled. It's just simply a 10-second introduction. Listen to the song that you and your band had came up for the radio stations. Radio stations can use it for a promotional intro right before the song played. I've queued up an example, where the voice of a heavy Southern accent came from Gus's computer. Hey y'all, it's Farmer Jones. When you hear beer, cowgirls, and trucks and other stations, it's just business, but when you hear it there, the station's like an own family to me. I'm proud of you all to hear my song on... Farmer Jones was interrupted by a loud robotic noise sounding insert station here. Isn't that a little deceptive? Thorn gasped. Well, yes, Gus chuckled. But like he said, that's business. I don't want it to make it like an intro like that. Luna shook her head. I'd like to record something like a little more or less cooperative. That's wonderful. Quite frankly, I never really cared for the cooperative introductions like that, Gus admitted, as he pressed a button on his computer. Alright, I've got it set up to record your intro whenever you're ready. Okay, I think we're ready, Thorn said, a tad cautiously. I just want this to be at the bottom from my heart. It's nothing you elaborately planned. Yeah, it sounds like it would be enthusiastic to us, Dusk agreed. Luna nodded as well. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Gus counted down. Hey, this is the Hex Girls, and you're listening to our song Hex Girl, Thorn began. We just want to thank everyone for the support and love, Luna added. I hope you enjoy your song, Dusk concluded. Gus hit the stop record button on his computer, quickly realizing that they were done. Stupendous work, girls, Gus smiled. It's excited that your first song is now turning into a hit so early. Sure, it will be even further up the charts once I meet with you next Thursday. Speaking of which, that's all I had planned for our meeting today, unless you had anything you wanted to discuss with me. Dusk looked at Luna and Thorn before responding. Luna simply gave a blank stare, while Thorn shook her head. I think that's it, Dusk responded. I hope you girls have an excellent week then. And don't forget to think about your song you want to cover before I see you next, Gus said, as the girls then got up from their chairs. Yeah, thanks again, Gus, Dusk waved, as she and the other two girls headed out the door. Yeah, you've gotten so incredible to work with, Thorn appreciated. Once the door was shut, Dusk let out a big happy sigh. God, can you believe we're actually one of the biggest songs in the frickin' country right now? Thorn could not, for the life of her, think of a response, mainly because she couldn't believe it either. After all the glitz and glam from the concert in Salem, even if the person who asked them ended up being a liar, all the girls were back to playing at the depressing, dingy establishment that was at Lester's bar. Oh God, I thought we would never have to come back here after that concert at Salem, Dusk complained. Or now we have that to be top 50 pop radio hit, Luna added. Anyway, let's just set up this and get out of the way so we can make some money. Thorn tried to look at the bright side. I just hope that they give us greasy money here, as a Metpator when we get back to Dick Johnson, Dusk joked. I thought his name was Derek, Luna obviously corrected. I know what I said, Dusk smirked. This time Lester was the one to greet them instead of whoever the guy was filling it from him from their previous concert. Alright, just set it up over there, Lester pointed out at the makeshift stage. You just gotta watch out for the rat, which had made itself a hole under the wall, the hole right behind your stage. Isn't that against the health code? Foreign questioned. Hey, you dam's got something against rats? Lester put his hands on his hips disapprovingly. None of the girls dignified with him for an answer. Now here's the money you got performing since you're playing. You're always bringing more customers. Lester laughed with a wad of bills in Dusk's hand. Hey, can you smear some of that barbecue sauce on the bills or spit them or something? We're giving this money to someone we frickin' hate. Dusk got a mischievous grin on her face. Come on, Dusk. Foreign rolled her eyes. Oh, learn just to take a joke, Foreign. Dusk playfully snapped back. Oh, how did I not miss that? Foreign sighed. As she looked at the mess tangled up in the cords, they would have to unravel the plug to plug in their instruments. As Foreign was setting up, a patron wearing somewhat of a tattered t-shirt and shorts came up and tapped her on her shoulder. A man's breath smelled horribly of whiskey. Excuse me, miss. I'm looking for something. I was wondering if you can help. The man's speech was slurred. What are you looking for? Foreign cautiously said. A good time with you tonight, baby. The man said, burst out laughing. Oh, hell no, Foreign snarled. Leave me alone. Oh, come on, little baby. You'd look a lot prettier if you smiled, the man said as he looked at an obnoxious burp. Just give me a smile, that's all I'm frickin' asking. Foreign was enraged by the man's taunting. You'd look prettier if you weren't drinking yourself to death and hitting on a woman, Foreign snapped. Now get the hell away from me! Oh, whatever. Probably just a girl sleeping with men anyway, the man insulted. He slumped back to the bar stool. Part of Foreign wanted to rip him a new one, but she knew that it would only escalate the situation. After the girls had set up, Lester came on stage and introduced them before the concert began. Attention everyone, now representing a new local band right in Oak Haven, the Hexed Girls! Lester's voice boomed throughout the bar, and even spoke into the microphone. Foreign didn't feel the aggravation and excitement about singing that she had been lately. She just felt sad. She expected the world to move up, and not to perform at places that made the garbage dump look favorable. Now she had a top 50 hit on the radio. She didn't really feel like singing, but nonetheless, all she could do was suck it up and hope in for the better days.